Yeah, we're filming this too.
Hello, great. Well done.
All right, now we can cut this out so we can...
Okay, great. Although we can...
Are we straight?
Do something. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was not good. Okay. Hello. Welcome to Neat and Not by the Sea. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Victoria.
You'll see that we're in Victoria's house. So this is the turn for the new English Flosstube. So because we're super professional, we realise that we forget to say all the things. So I've got them written down. So we've said our names. Today is the 23rd of March. And we are filming from Port Chalmers, New Zealand.
Yes. And what Catherine didn't say is that we film at each other's house turnabout. The Spanish one's usually always at Catherine's, but the English ones we take turnabout, and whose home it's not does the hosting.
That's right. Yeah, it's not just I'm taking over. A friend of mine did watch the Flosstube and he was like, "You talk a lot." I was like, "I'm letting Victoria talk. We take it in turns."
It's all good fun.
Okay, so how are you, Victoria? How's your week been?
I'm very well, except I thought today's Tuesday and I spent all day thinking it was Wednesday, so I was quite disappointed when I was, an extra day of the work week. So
that's right. Oh yes, we come to you from the future.
Oh yeah,
that's right, because we're ahead of everywhere in the world.
Except probably not by the time we actually load this up.
I don't know, depends on the editing. Okay, so you've been away. You went away.
So I had a long weekend up at Meraki, which is a small fishing village about 50 minutes north of Dunedin, and it
50, right? 50.
50, yes.
It's a lovely place.
It's beautiful. Lovely, quiet wee fishing village. We were in my mother and I went up, and it was a small holiday batch. I did heaps of stitching.
Okay. What's a batch?
A batch is like a really small holiday home.
Yeah.
That
kind of wonky usually, not very well finished.
Yeah.
Nowadays you get very fancy batches in New Zealand, but historically they were always like very cute and sort of cobbled together.
Yeah, that would be true. The floor's not level at all.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I did heaps of stitching, and I also took some film of the views around that area. So at the end of this video, there'll be a few minutes of Meraki videos.
So you can see a little bit of the beautiful countryside, especially if you're stuck in a city and you can't get out and you can't see much countryside.
Yeah.
We thought that would be nice.
Speaking of that.
Oh yes. So okay, you see, Victoria and I are here together. We're not breaking the rules. We have a level, because of COVID, we do have a level of care that we have to take in New Zealand, but there are very few cases here, and they're usually people coming back home from having lived overseas.
Yeah.
So we're not breaking the rules. There is very little COVID, and it's mostly in quarantine, and people arriving are arriving and they're ill, so they're in managed isolation. We're allowed to meet up. We're allowed to go on holiday within New Zealand.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks back, we had to go into level 2, which meant that we couldn't.
You couldn't get in groups larger than 50 or 100.
It was something like that. So
I don't know that many people. So
didn't affect our lives. But yeah, we're not being naughty, and so we're really conscious that we're just having the time of our lives and very relaxed here. So we can't go abroad. That's one thing that we are affected by that, right?
Yeah.
So eventually there might be a bubble between Australia and New Zealand, and maybe with one of the Pacific Islands, which would be great. But for the time being, we're being good citizens, and we do have to wear masks if we go on public transport, and so we do that. But yeah, so we thought it'd be really nice for people that don't know New Zealand to see a bit of the countryside, and also if you're stuck in a big city and you're not near a park and you can't see a lot of nature, you might enjoy this.
Yeah, so we're very lucky living in New Zealand, and we really do feel for those of you who've been in lockdown for up to a year or more.
That's right. So we've done that. So speaking of, there's a few preliminary things that we want to talk about. I will say, I just wanted to mention a book that I've been reading whilst doing all my various crafts. It's really lovely. If you like audiobooks, you might enjoy this. The author is English, and it's about her experiences living in one of the islands off the coast of Scotland. It's not quite as lovely as I was thinking it was going to be. There are some challenges, so there are some bits that you're like, but really beautiful, and really all about, what it means to be home, family, very introspective and very beautifully read by the author. So if you're interested, it's called I Am an Island by Tamsin Kalidas. So I really recommend that from our wonderful library.
Give it a go.
You know, there'll be in other places as well. So that was one of the things. The other thing was we have had so many people subscribe.
Yay!
Yeah, definitely more people than we know. We've had tons of comments. We should clarify we're both reading the comments, but I'm doing all the replying because I have writing superpowers, and Victoria's
In other
doing
words,
the
I'm
editing.
dyslexic and I can't spell to save myself.
I'm a really good speller. I love writing.
She can even do punctuation, so, you know, she's amazing.
That's right. So we're both reading them, and if just in case Victoria were to miss something, I'll text her because you know we might text all day long some days. So thank you very much. It's been so lovely, and a few of the comments have been so lovely.
Yeah, the support has been almost overwhelming. It's just wonderful.
Yes, and there was a lady, for example, there was so we had one subscriber from Peru that does a Flosstube as well that I shouted at before. There's a lady from Portugal, and her surname is Lima, which is the capital of Peru. So when I saw it, I was like, oh. And she turned out to be Portuguese, but super lovely as well. So that was really nice. We've had people from Australia be friendly, people from New Zealand, and apparently we're not the only Flosstube in New Zealand.
It may have been a little bit arrogant to assume that.
I don't know how you can search, because I don't know if they can do tags to videos. So we might be able to tag it as New Zealand, but otherwise, unless it's come up in your feed, you wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know, no.
Yeah.
So we're still learning about YouTube as well as Flosstube videos.
Yes.
How to
And
do them.
Instagram. Right, so yeah, the support has been really lovely, and there are some Flosstubers from New Zealand, so we've got them on our list to start watching, to kind of make contact with people and learn about other parts of New Zealand, so that's going to be really great. A question that came up was about, no, it wasn't a question, it was a comment about the Funko Pops, and I did not know what that was.
So it was from our first video, so this is a result of us doing alternate housing and hosting. So someone asked about the figurines that are around the top of this room, which you can't see in this current angle, but they're Harry Potter Funko Pops, because I'm still a child. And I have a problem, so I am very much I don't quite know what the term is, but I say like a completionist. If I get one, I want the whole set, which is why I live in a 2-bedroom house but have 8 egg cups, because you know it was a set of 8 and they're really cute. They got birds on them. So yeah, so now I have a lot of those.
I think you have so many. I think we should do a little, before we do the film of New Zealand, we should just run past them.
Oh.
Because there'll be some people that are Harry Potter fans.
Oh yeah, I'll do a little video and edit it in sometime.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I thought it said training here. I'm like, this is not work. Framing.
Oh, framing,
We
yes.
got tips on framing.
So a few people commented on the fact that I should frame my cross stitches, which is true, and some great hints and not hints but some tips and how they've done it by framing themselves, and I'm definitely going to look into that. Just a case of finding frames big enough these days.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll finagle something.
Yeah,
That'll be great.
we'll work something out.
Yeah. The other thing that came up was apparently there was a stitching retreat in New Zealand. Who knew?
Yeah, we had no idea. In Christchurch in...
I think it's the weekend of the 22nd of May. Oh, I've been moving the table and the floor and everything.
Sorry, Catherine's shaking and I've got an old table and it's not low. So.
Wooden houses.
Yeah, they're great.
Yes, so we got very excited. We found out more about it. Busy that weekend.
Yeah, so but we'll definitely try and make the next one because we'd love to experience a stitching retreat.
Yeah.
We have no idea what to expect, but it should be fun.
Yeah, because I'd heard about one in Tasmania in Australia, and so I got very excited. I was like, oh, we could make it a goal.
We could.
But you know, we don't even have to go that far. There's one here. So, but hopefully there'll be a second one in the year, or maybe next year we'll be able to go. We can book in advance. So thank you for all of that. And also someone put me onto someone that does Spanish and English podcast as well. So I'm gonna start watching them, and then I'll talk about them in the next Flosstube.
Oh, that also applies to the New Zealand Flosstubers that we didn't know about. So we haven't had a chance to watch them yet, but we'll give them a go, and once we've had a look at their work, we'll give them a shout out. So super looking forward to that.
Yes, very exciting, although not enough hours in the day. So, right, okay. So let's get started with the actual stitching.
Excellent.
So we'll start with FOs. Victoria, do you have an FO?
I do have an FO. Now, you may remember from the first video, I was working on the, what is it, the Sunflower Diaries Joyful World calendar. And I have finished, as of last night, January.
Very pretty.
It's just little. I miscalculated the amount of, what do you call it?
Linen?
Linen that I should have done it on. But it's super
It
cute.
looks okay. It will work fine.
Yeah.
I also, before you put it away, Victoria followed the rules.
I did follow the rules.
She did everything they asked of her. They were like, "You got a pattern, do it," and she did.
I did.
Just like that. It did not
Aw.
turn into a whole like thing where she
Yeah.
had to argue with the pattern.
So that's 1/1 on a 32 count linen.
It's very beautiful. Oh, show that!
Oh,
show that! Show that!
I'll
I'm
show
so
that.
excited about this.
Oh, sorry. We're really sorry. We'll fix this for the next
I'm a
time.
big kiddie.
So I know there's probably lots of apps and other ways to do it, but I started a stitch journal.
Oh no,
So-
people do them in books as well.
Oh, so please just ignore the spelling mistakes, as I said before. But see, I've got business cards from places that I've ordered stuff from, so I can know who they are. And then I've got a page, and I've printed out a picture of the cross stitch, and I've
In
got
colour.
the fabric and the threads that I used, and who the designer was, and when I started it, and when I finished it. And for ones like, so this is the Linen and Threads mystery sampler I'm working on. And so because I changed the colour from red to blue, I've got the colour that I selected. And I've got a couple, yeah, so that,
This
I
one's
like this
so
page.
lovely.
This is the one I'm doing for the calendar. So that's got all of them. And that's just pretty much as a reference, so that in a year's time I can go back and see what fabric I used or what threads I used, because I want to do it again and I forgot where I bought it. And
I did see, what's her name? Saltbox Stitcher. She gets some paper journals, I suppose they're called as well, but they're very beautiful.
yeah.
But I'm not a shopper, so. And also, I was
I am.
so excited when Victoria did this because I do not have the personality for this. I can live through you.
You can indeed. So that's fun. And I also got to use a glue stick, and I haven't used a glue stick in a long time. I was pretty excited.
Your life's complete.
It was stationary, gotta love it.
Cool.
Oh.
All right, so that's your.
Yeah, so that was my one finish for the last fortnight.
So do you have a goal? Are you trying to do one a fortnight or one a month?
One
or-
a month, I think. So I've for somehow I managed to do February before I did January, which is very unlike me. So I will try and get March done. I won't be done before the end of
No
March.
pressure. but
I'll try and
yeah.
get March and April done before the end of April,
Okay.
and then I can just do one the month that it goes. So
Oh, okay. So try and keep track with
yeah,
with the year.
because it's a nice little one. It takes.
How long did it take you? That's 1/1.
It's like I do it in a weekend, but I'm not stitching the full weekend. It's
Okay.
however many hours I put aside.
Yeah. Cool. Very good. Any other FOs?
No, that's the only FO for me. What about yourself?
Great. I have two sort of semi FOs. So this is my Quaker Crow
Oh, it's
in
beautiful.
non-traditional green, of course, because I do have to fight with the pattern. So they recommended a charcoal, but of course I wasn't going to do that. I am so delighted with this. So like the pros, this was used Silvery Moon, 36 count, 1/2. I was using my Molino thread of a color that, can I even see? So this is Molino, so people in Latin America will probably be able to get this. And it is color 9141. And I didn't run out, it was great. Woo, I was a bit concerned. So I'm counting this as a finish. But of course I had a learning moment because I realized that I love this. I was not looking for anything like this and I just loved it. I saw it on 1, 2, 3 stitch.
It's beautiful.
I can't see. I saw it on 1, 2, 3 stitch and then I thought, right, I'm gonna buy it. And then I realized that actually I'm not gonna make a thingy. I don't know what you call them, like a standy-uppy toy type, whatever it's called. I'm not gonna make that. My house is too full. And so then I realized I was thinking, what can I make? What can I make? I'm turning this into an actual sampler, but it's going to be a sampler of my own invention. So this is going from an FO to a, whip. But I'm excited about that. So I've been getting books out and having a look at how people design. I've gone on the Stitcher app called something.
I'll insert some text. Will you let me know what it is later?
Yes, yeah. So that's really great, because I'm using the free version just to figure it out a little bit. But so many of the good bits come if you buy or pay for the subscription. I think I'm going to do it because I don't know. There's something about being told what to do that my personality doesn't like. So if I tell myself what to do, surely that will work out. So I'm really excited because I want to insert. I mean, all the patterns that we buy are beautiful, but I want to insert things that I see. I want to have cabbage trees and flax plants and wooden houses and, you know, stuff that we actually see around in our cities here. So I did that. So I'm excited about that. Very good. And my other finish was the Modern Folk Embroidery Black Lives Matter pin cushion. And I think this one is supposed to go like this. So that makes more sense, like a cornucopia of flowers. And then there is the bird side of things. So this is 1/2 on 36 count, Black Lives Matter. I'm really proud of this. And as a wee bonus, the day that I finished it, I was taking a photo for my Instagram. And the neighbour, it's a bit of a New Zealand thing that people have flagpoles.
Not to the extent that they do in America, though.
No, but I'm surprised because I never saw people with flagpoles in the UK. But they do like their flagpoles here, so it's kind of a hobby thing. My neighbour just got a flagpole for Christmas, but he was flying a rainbow flag. So I was so happy. So I had my Black Lives Matter and the rainbow flag on that person. So I was really happy about that. That was pretty cool. So those are my 2 finishes.
Excellent.
I may have stayed up too late for a few days doing that. Right, whips. What have we got on the whips front?
So I go, So as I said, I went away for a long weekend and I feel I did really well with the amount of stitching I got done. So the first one, see, now I can refer to my book.
This is very profesh.
This is Emerald City by Owl Forest Embroidery. And so while I was away, I think what I did the balloon and I did the Emerald City. And after the big dilemma from the last video, I went with the satin thread as opposed to the metallic because when it came down to it, I just couldn't do metallic thread. I just, no.
Although we did have a couple of people mention metallic thread and give us some suggestions.
Some alternatives, which we...
And then I was looking online and I came across that lady who's very famous, and she's had a website to do with all sorts of embroidery, and she talks about a French company that does metallic thread that will be your friend. So we're looking into that as well.
Yeah.
So it's great. People give you suggestions, you find things online, it's great.
Yeah, so I'm super pleased with how that's coming along. And
what's the fabric?
Oh, the fabric, according to my book, is Perman linen, and it's 32 count. The colour is Star Sapphire, and I'm doing 2/2. It's lovely. I'm loving the colour. I think I'll use the colour again.
Coloured linen is also a thing that wasn't around as far as I was aware when I was doing cross stitch way back.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of a newish fun thing.
It is new. And plus, ordering it in the mail, as I'm sure everyone's aware, the colour on your screen never does it justice. And so you never quite know what you're going to end up with. But I'm super pleased. And my last whip is my Needle and Threads 2017 Mystery Sampler, which I'm a little bit behind on where I wanted to be with this, but we're getting there.
Lots of people said they were really impressed with Victoria's 1/1.
So that's, again, 1/1 on 32, I think. I think this linen was just out of my stash, which I, at that stage, didn't have labelled.
Or in her book.
Or in my book, no.
So how big is this going to be, do you think, when it's completely finished?
So if I've done my maths right, which I probably haven't, it should take up most of that length.
To about here?
To about there, yeah.
Okay.
Hoping.
That's a lot of stitching.
It is a lot of stitching, but I quite like the one colour stitching. It's quite therapeutic, and you're not constantly changing colours. Or
can I have a look at your back?
Yeah, the back's a bit messy.
Disappointing. It's not messy at all. How am I supposed to feel better about myself?
Well, I saw that someone was showing their back the other day, and it was amazing.
Can I just say, you wouldn't know that this was not the front.
Especially from
you will from here.
Yeah.
Pretty good, right?
Catherine's showing you the back.
Yes.
It also helps that it's all one colour.
Yes, no, it's very good. Victoria's very modest.
So those are my 2 whips that are going.
Very cool.
What about yourself?
I've lost track of, have I done this in Spanish? Have I done this in English? I can't remember. So I'm just going to quickly show you. I'm doing the calendar that is not the actual calendar that I'm supposed to do because, you know, I'm one of those kids in the classroom.
She's great. She's being unique. It's bespoke.
Yeah, that's right.
Bespoke is a great word.
So I have added all the, also this fun fact. In my head, it made sense to do all the months. I was like, oh, I'll do all the months. And Victoria was like, why are you doing everything instead of just completing one at a time? That's just not right. Which makes it funnier.
It is. So, it's a very different way our brains work.
Very different. So anyway, I've done the months. And also, I have now got, I think, 12 little birds, 12 little crows that I've been, like, charting in, like, different poses.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
No, it's somewhere in the depths of my things. So that's kind of next to stitch. So I'm going to do all the little birds. And so I'm hoping to have all the little birds done by the next time that we podcast.
Oh, exciting.
And that's it, I think. Yeah, it was just finishing my things on this. Right, so historical finishes. Victoria.
Right.
Completed from the past.
Completed from the past. So, this one's framed, so you can tell I did this one in my childhood.
Yes.
I actually think this was the first ever large cross stitch I ever did. It's the first one I ever remember doing. Oh, I've got bad reflection on this. It's Winnie the Pooh. I think I did it when I was in Form 1 and 2, so that will be 11 and 12. It's hung in Mum's kitchen because she paid for the framing and I don't want it in my house.
Oh, you're getting it back?
Yeah, so that's why I'm showing it, that I can give this one and the paper doll one back. It's done on Ada. I have no idea what count. It was just I was a child. It was just a kit.
I've just, now that you've said it was done on Ada,
Yeah.
I know so little about fabrics and stuff. And when on the first one I said like, oh, this was just done on Ada. Well, I was watching Michelle from Michelle Bendy Stitcher, and she has just bought, for her business, she has just bought dyed Ada. Oh my god, it was so beautiful. Yeah, I think the thing is that for me Ada's just white, and I'm really drawn to the more interesting linens, but that Ada was beautiful. All sorts of different colours, and she even, yeah, it was very exciting. Yes, so.
We're not judging Ada, it's lovely fabric.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't think that Ada had moved on to like doing all snazzy different colours and stuff, so I was like, well, I don't want to do Ada because, you know, I've moved on from white. Yeah. But you can do all sorts of exciting colours. And she did a little tutorial, well, like 3-minute thing, explaining the difference between Ada, Hardanger, something, and linen, like how the threads work and stuff. So that was kind of interesting to learn.
Nice.
But yeah, very pretty. So if you're really into Ada, apparently you can get it dyed as well. So fun fact.
Lovely.
Okay, so other crafts. So I texted Victoria and I said, Victoria, is that your house?
Yeah, she did.
Maybe you can show some of your older crafts.
But admittedly, she only texted me, like quarter of an hour before I was leaving work. I don't know where my other crafts are. I had a look in my spare room, which currently is the dumping ground. Buried. So I don't know where it is. One day I'll show you some other stuff, or I'll pinch them from Mum's, because that's where a lot of them are. Because I don't want them in my house.
She has stuff. Can I just say that she doesn't just do cross stitch. We're a little bit obsessed with cross stitch at the moment, but she does other things as well. So I lent Victoria these 2 books as well.
Did, and they were lovely.
Did you get a chance to look through them?
I did.
So when I've done cross stitch, I've kind of got bits and bobs from this book, because you know, me and patterns, we're not the best of friends, so you can grab bits, and there's a couple of alphabets as well.
I particularly love this one that you're showing. I thought this was fantastic.
This one's traditional sampler. So traditional is by Brenda Keys. Yeah. So
yeah, you wouldn't know it from my whips, but I'm all into samplers at the moment. It's really interesting to see. I've been pulling out my old completed ones and trying to work out where they are. How tastes change over. Well, it's not amazing to see. It's to be expected. Yeah. But it's lovely. It's nice to see the different phases you go through.
And actually, one of the funny things that I notice is that Victoria and I appear to be quite different. Like 8 colours, 1 colour. She has great outfits that are in lots of colours, but we appear to be quite different. But really, we're just 2 Victorian ladies.
We just want to be at home stitching all day.
Yeah, and have a house full of samplers. Really, that's what we like.
Yeah.
So, okay, I do have other crafts because I've not been so well the last few days. One of the gifts that New Zealand has given me has been allergies. I never used to have allergies, but I do have allergies in New Zealand, so then I don't rest enough, and then I get a little bit poorly.
So I didn't see you had it over here.
So I got to the point where I was just not feeling well enough to stitch or do anything. So I quilted because, of course, I couldn't have a nap because that was wrong. I really should have rested more, but I didn't. So I spent quite a few hours doing this over the last 4 days. So this is a beautiful basket from Peru, from the north of Peru. Chiclayo. They specialize in these sort of baskets. I think it's because they have their agriculture, like the leftover product gives you the straw for this. So that's kind of cool. And so this is my quilt, and I just love how it's looking. So this is where all the quilty bits live. But I have done all the binding.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've got 8,000 colours in the quilt, so my binding is also different colours. And I wanted to be quite scrappy. I worked quite hard to make sure it's not perfect. I don't really like perfect. It makes me uncomfortable. So, I want it wonky. So this is some bed sheets that I bought from the op shop, from like a second-hand shop, and I dyed it with turmeric. So that's kind of special to me. I've even got some grey here, which just seems unbelievable.
Oh, that's unlike you.
I know. There we go, grey. And I wanted to put some of the mustard because I've got another quilt where I put some mustard, and this was just a man's cotton shirt from the second-hand shop. So I like to do stuff like that. So anyway, and so it's all hand stitched. I'd love to have the maths to know how many of these hexagons are in here, because there's a lot. It's like a misshapen but larger than a king quilt.
It's phenomenal. It's absolutely
gigantic.
stunning.
And I was watching, has anyone come across Zach Foster? So there's Heidi Parks and Zach Foster, which are quilters, and they kind of quilt the way I like it. They're not really ruler people. They're like, and so they did a whole thing on how to display your quilt. And so they had things like this. Like a quilt didn't just have to be on a bed.
You could totally wear that to work.
So this is a good way of kind of showing it off, because it's just too hard. I'm so happy. So all I have to do, because there were like 8,000 bits, there are some bits where I've missed the join, so I've got it marked with some safety pins. So I'm going back checking, sewing up those bits. I have to do that. I have to remove the 12,000 bits of thread that I still haven't removed, and my signature box on the back. So I normally embroider a panel with something in Spanish, and it's normally a dedication, but this is actually for the house. It's not for anyone in particular. So I'll embroider that, and I do it, is it freehand? Freestyle, so wonky. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably going to use some second-hand. Oh, I could use this, because I found some flimsy fabric, but it was too flimsy. But I could use this that I showed last time.
Oh, that'd be a
I
good
could use
use
them,
for that.
yeah, because it's a little bit coarser. What I found was lovely, but it was a bit too thin, and I thought it wouldn't last. So, yeah, it was really nice, because I'm not very good at lying in bed doing nothing. So it was just really nice to just do binding, which is, you don't really have to think, and you can do it lying down. And the quilt was on top of me, so that was warmer than I needed to be.
Quilting is a winter sport.
It is a winter sport, and we're in autumn now. So yeah, that was really lovely. I really enjoyed doing this. So my goal of finishing this by end of March might be attainable.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's a shame I didn't have a nice book like Victoria, so I don't know when I started, but about 5 years ago.
Well, I can highly recommend a book.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm knitting some mittens as well, but there's nothing much to show yet. That's it.
Oh, what about I'm not a shopper, but...
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I did write it down.
You did, but she missed it because she hasn't got any shopping. So my first parcel arrived. It was my birthday the other week, and I was quite in a shopping mood, so I've got a couple of very large parcels on the way.
And they arrived quite quickly.
Or they haven't arrived yet. They're
No,
on the way.
these.
Oh, these. These took a while. I think these were a bit slow, but that's okay. So, I have got... Oh, these are all from 123 Stitch, by the way. So this one is... What is it? Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. And it's gorgeous. I can't wait to start this one, but a lot of the threads that are specified aren't in stock anywhere at the moment that I can find. It's part of the global thread shortage.
All the stitches are stitching.
All the stitches are
shopping.
stitching and shopping, yeah. So I will, and it's because it's me, I want to use the actual threads.
That's right.
So that will have to just go on the back burner until stuff comes back into stock.
I know, isn't this beautiful? Like, some of the details are so lovely, like the basket on,
It's
you know,
just
above
gorgeous.
the roof, of course.
I love the whimsicalness of it.
Yeah.
Great.
And I bought a Springfield 1817 sampler. So I've got fabric on the way for this. I've got the threads, so I'm just waiting for fabric to arrive, and then that will very quickly become a whip. I really have to finish the Wizard of Oz one because I can see all my whips being dropped for all my new stuff that's coming. In myself as a stitcher, I've always had a rule where I have to start and finish one before I start the next. So this having multiple whips has been quite liberating. But I'm now worried that I'm not going to finish anything because I just want to move on.
So Victoria will be like starting all the whips, and then I'll be counselling her.
Yes, yeah. I'll end up with a great big
I can be quite stern.
And this one, which what is this? Uppercase ABC Art Nouveau Water Lily.
That is so pretty.
Which is gorgeous. So I've also got fabric ordered for this one. I was very smart and ordered the beautiful hand-dyed threads. It's just 2 colours when I ordered the pattern. And the green is Mountain Mist from Simply Shaker. Is that Shaker? Yeah, it is. It's a Shaker.
You actually have thread drops like the fancy people.
I know. It's very flash. And Raspberry Parfait from the Gentle Art, which is a stunning pink.
Very lovely. I love the variegation. It's so subtle.
It is. It's. Oh, I can't wait to start these ones.
Are you planning to do these 1/1? Or
No,
will you just follow the instructions, whatever they've told you?
I've decided that I'm only going to have one 1/1 project, even though I've got 2 technically going. Actually, I've got 3. I'm going to limit the number of 1/1s I do because it is very tiring on the eyes.
For
so
your eye health.
I generally try and do it in natural daylight, and we're heading into winter. So if I want to do anything in the evenings, I'm going to be looking at
Yes.
the standard one. So
We have to work. We have jobs outside of the home.
Waiting at the jobs are great, and we're really grateful to have
Yes,
them.
yes, really happy. Yay, University of Otago. No, I like my job. I really enjoy it, but you know.
It does
takes
get in the way of
time.
stitching.
Yeah, it takes time
But
away
it
from
does
the craft.
finance the stitching, so you know, a delicate balance.
Yes.
So these ones will be done in, I think it's 2/2 or whatever the pattern recommends.
You're keeping to the colour scheme.
Yes. What's on it?
It's a very beautiful colour scheme. Yeah.
So that's my, I'm not a shopper but, section.
She's slightly mocking me here. I don't have anything new for my pantry. I don't think. I kind of, because Victoria and Martin mocked me, every time I want to shop for something, I'm like, I don't need it. I'm fine. I'll just go and find some second-hand something somewhere in my house.
Oh.
So it's a matter of principle now. I'm not gonna shop for like 3 weeks.
Like that.
Now, on a serious-ish note, just as you were saying about the 1/1, I'm due an eye test, and I was actually going to go to the ophthalmologist. I think that's how you call it here. Optometrist. Ophthalmologist will be their consultant, right?
Yeah.
So the optometrist. And I was going to say, look, because I've never used glasses, so this is a nightmare. So this is 1.75 for stitching. No, for reading. But for my stitching, I'm using, which I do 1/2 on a 35, 36. I'm actually using a 4 readers, number 4, whatever it's called. So I was actually going to go and talk to the poor person who's you know, they know I stitch, so we've talked about it before, and go, am I doing my eyes damage by going between 175 and the 4s and the nothing? What would be the best thing for my eyes? Because I'm having a brilliant time, but I don't want to be, because I don't know enough about eyesight, I just want to double check.
Yeah, well, let us know what they say.
Yeah, I thought I would take that and my magnifiers as well. I've got magnifiers. I was like, what should I do?
Very attractive.
Yeah, just see, because
yeah.
well, they might say something. They might go, it would be best if you, when you use the 4s, don't go straight to another glass, or, you know, I have no idea what they'll say, but I'm interested in pretending that I will listen to them if they say something like, you mustn't do that, which I won't. So yeah.
Excellent.
I will find out and I'll let you all know. Okay, so what are your plans for the future?
So in the next 2 weeks we have Easter coming up, so that's 4 days off. 4 days.
I have 5 days off.
So do I. What day do you get off?
We get Otago Day.
Me too. Okay, so we
you?
get 5 days off. Yes, because we didn't observe it on Monday. Anyway, we'll talk about what we're doing on Otago.
So Otago Day is a day to celebrate our province. Is that a province? It is kind of a province. So Otago is, Dunedin is in Otago, so they have a day.
Which was actually yesterday, so Monday.
It was
but
yesterday.
Some businesses choose to work on the actual anniversary day and tag it onto Easter, which is what both of our workplaces have done.
Yeah.
So we get 5 days off, so that's at least, no, that's 5 days of stitching, isn't it?
Yes, I'm hoping to go away.
So
yeah.
My plans are, I want to finish the Harry Potter sampler that I showed in the first video. I would just like to have that off the board and done.
Because it's 1/1, isn't it?
It's 1/1. Yeah. I want to get the March calendar done if I can, or at least started.
Yeah.
And I want to get the Emerald City one as far as I can, but all those plans will go out the window the minute my next package arrives. So, because I've got some awesome stuff coming, I'm super excited to share it.
It's really good that you're going to have this Flosstube, because that'll keep you in check.
I know. It keeps things progressing.
Yeah, because I thought I would be able to do 5 whips, and I've realised I don't like it, because I have other crafts going. So there's always a quilting project and there is always a knitting project, minimum. I've also got spinning and I've got freestyle embroidery. So I've always got things, and I've realised that 5, no, I stopped at 4. It just made me a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, I think once things settle down a bit for me, I think my plan is I will have 1 large 1/1, 1, maybe 2 large 2/2. I would like to keep 1, maybe 2 little projects going, so I can have at least a finished object every month.
Yeah, and it's nice to have little things.
Yeah.
Because we have to do things like have our scissors keep and,
Yeah,
you know, stuff like that.
exactly.
Yeah, that is nice.
But who knows?
Yeah, so that sounds achievable, especially with 5 days off.
Yeah, I think so.
5 days off is lovely, because you really get ahead. I have 3-day weekends always, but we're doing a lot of painting at the moment with my little house. So I'm hoping to, I'm focused, I really want to do 3 things. I'm sounding like Victoria, and I was like, 3 things. So I want to do the next page of my mystery sampler that's not a mystery anymore, by Needle and Threads.
Needle and Threads. Were you doing the 2018 mystery sampler?
Yes, Family and Friends. It's not Needle and Threads. Linen and Threads.
Linen and Threads.
Yeah, so I want to do another page of that. I want to do the birds for all my calendar bits and bobs, and for my my crow, I'm going to start the sampler. So I've gone into to the program, and I've already learned how to use the basics. So I've done a frame. I went away for a weekend. We were trying to see the Aurora Australis lights, and that didn't happen. But I took a photo of a little house that I love. It's a little library on the peninsula that I want to have as my house in the picture. So I really want to make progress with those things. That's doable for me.
That's
I think.
doable. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for watching. Apologies for the shaky table. We'll try and fix that for next time we're here. Tie your legs down.
Yes. Thank you very much for all the love and friendliness and support. And I shall see you in a week, and we shall see you in a fortnight.
Yeah, brilliant.
Bye.
Bye.